there everyone, Roberto here for Look Back episode 17. Yes, great to see you, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, basically this is where I look back at videos I did 1 year and 5 years ago basically, because I've been reviewing chocolate for that long now, well if not a bit longer actually. So yeah, so just of it is I'll go over what I looked at those time periods ago and see whether I generally still agree with what I said back then, and also to see whether there's any surprises with any chocolate that's no longer around anymore or anything that's a bit different. Yeah, so links for all these things will be in the description below, so I'll probably put a little bannery icon thingy-bob there, well, at least a little message to say as much. But yeah, so links for all these videos will be in the description. As well as the links for any other things I did around that time as well. So for instance, I did a couple of member reviews. I did, what did I do? Let's have a see. I did Doritos Stacks, sour cream and onion flavour, and that was a member exclusive review. And did the lime caramel and chocolate cereal. Yeah, so basically a cereal review, so an interesting one. So both those links are in the description of those videos. If you're a member, you can go watch them if you missed out first time. And if you're interested in becoming a member, the link for the member program is in the description as well. So it gives you access to those special reviews, depending on what tier you pick if you go for bronze level or higher. But it's just a great way of supporting the channel as well. Other videos I did as well, I did like a little special about how I managed to or how I maintain my weight basically, and how I lost weight in the past as well. So a bit of an interesting video, just sort of detailing basically yeah, how I've lost weight, how I kept and keep the weight I am as well, despite reviewing all this chocolate. So the link for that's in the description also. So a bit of an interesting one, yeah. So go give that a watch. Quite an interesting one as well. I did that about a year ago. So yeah, interesting. I continue to do the top 50 chocks of all time as well, back 5 years ago. So the link for those are in the description, a playlist of all them. So they were continuing on as well. Speaking of which, I'm going to hopefully do in the next, perhaps next sort of Friday slot will be the top, well hopefully it will be the top, or at least the start of the top, top 20 chocks from 2021. So should be an interesting one, that one, so keep your eyes out for that one. Yeah, so it'll probably be a two-parter, that one I think, divided into 2 sets of 10 maybe, but we'll see. But gist of it is, it'll be probably going over a couple of Fridays, so probably interspersed with the next episode of the Look Back as well. So there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at what I reviewed a year ago, see whether I agree with them or not, basically. First of all, I did a live review. I'll do that one first, even though perhaps it might not be chronologically in order, but, you know, 1 year ago, it doesn't, you know, it's going to give or take a few days. But anyway, Lily O'Brien's Petite or Petit Chocolat or Chocolate Indulgence. So Lily O'Brien's Petite Chocolate Indulgence, basically. I gave this a 3 out of 5. I said it was not too bad as far as the distribution was concerned. Basically an equal distribution of all the chocolates, but there's only 6 of them. So basically there was one really nice one, but the rest of them were sort of like a bit middling really, nothing too special, no distinct flavours as such. Basically style over substance for the most part. So I'm not going to disagree with that really, because I think it's quite difficult to retrospectively change the ratings for these chocolates, because there was quite a few of them and it was all about the overall experience of opening it and trying the different ones, how they work together and things. So but yeah, link for that's in the description if you fancy watching it, one of the earlier live reviews. So interesting one, but yeah, 3 out of 5 for that one. And an interesting company as well, Lily O'Brien's, you know, not you know, they're sort of not quite as mainstream a company as, you know, you see them around Christmas and things, but don't generally sort of see their chocolates all year round, you know, or maybe you see the odd couple of things, but not like these kind of selections, stuff like that. So an interesting one, that one. So what's the regular reviews I did? Yes, I did Cadbury's Dairy Milk Marvelous Creations Birthday Cake. Yeah, an Australian import, this one. I gave this 4.5 out of 5. Sounds quite high, this one. So lots of filling and textures, but they don't really have much flavour. And nothing really birthday cake about it. There's only like, you know, it's just all colours and things like that, really. I don't know, I feel like I was quite harsh back at the time, so I don't feel I would have given it a 4.5 out of 5 if it wasn't warranted. But I don't know, it seems like it's perhaps a bit too high a mark, that really. I don't know. I think I'm tempted to knock that down to a 4, I think. I think that might have just been me being a bit overexcited. I think, you know, it looks all colourful and things like this. I'm not too sure it should really be a 4.5 out of 5, that one. I don't know. It's one of those. I'm not going to give myself the benefit of the doubt on it. I just don't feel like... I don't know. I'm not... Yeah, I feel like that's possibly more of a 4, really. Just from the sounds of what I was giving it, saying it wasn't too... you know, I don't know. I just feel like there's lots of chocolate bars I've had since then. I've had lots of, you know, wacky fillings and this, that, and the other. And I'm not sure from the sounds of what I gave it, you know, my sort of like reactions to it and the reasons for giving it such a high rating really warranted it, you know, today really. So I think I will lower that one. It's unusual for me to lower ones that I did just a year ago, but I think that one, by the sounds of it, does warrant it really. Yeah, so I'm going to lower that to a 4 out of 5. I'm just not sure it's that good, you know, from what's in it, and in fact there's not really any flavours and things, and there's not really anything birthday cake about it, you know. So yeah, so we'll say I think I mean, I'm quite sure that should be a 4, that one. Yeah, then I reviewed the Twix Triple Chocolate. Yeah, US import this one. Give it a 4 out of 5 actually. And from my comments on this one, I said it was, basically a really different bar completely than a Twix actually. Should really be a separate bar entirely, even though it's got the same look and almost the same feel, but the same look as a Twix. It just tasted so radically different. The caramel was a bit thicker, the biscuit was different. It just had a bit more of a cakey sort of sour taste to it, really. I only gave this a 4 out of 5. I feel like this one might be a bit higher. This one might be one that I actually would raise to 4.5 out of 5. And I think I'm going to do that. Just from the way I was describing it, the way it sounds, the way Twix. I quite like Twix anyway. I don't think Twix is generally it's probably a 3.5, maybe a 4 on a good day bar. But this one sounded really interesting, and a really different take on Twix. And I think I'm gonna up this one. I mean, I haven't had it for that long, I must say, but based on what I was saying and things, and based on the fact that it sounded so interesting, so different, full of different textures and tastes, so radically different than a regular Twix as well, to the fact where I said it should really be a different bar. It's only the fact that it looks like a Twix, that it is a Twix really. It doesn't, it wasn't really like only a slight difference to a regular Twix. So yeah, I'm gonna, as I say, based on what I said, I'm gonna up that one. I feel like that one sounded very much like a 4.5 out of 5, something a bit different. So yeah, we'll up that one. Well, worth looking into that if it's still available. Yeah, I remember it as well, actually thinking this is something a bit different, maybe a bit special as well, and that's why I'm thinking 4.5 out of 5. I think is probably about right for that one. But 4 is still a great mark. I just feel like, based on what I said, it sounded like a 4.5 to me. So I'm going to up that one. Now what else out there? Lotus Biscoff cream biscuits. Yes, these were sort of basically like 2 sort of like circular Biscoff biscuits with a bit of cream in the middle. And I gave these ones a 2 out of 5. And I just said basically you just couldn't really taste the cream because it was so similar to, or so overpowered, or both really, probably similar and overpowered really, by the actual Biscoff biscuits itself. And I just thought there's no real point to it, and it didn't work well when dunked in a hot drink either really, which is pretty unknown and blasphemous really for for a biscuit to not really work when dunked in a hot drink. So this was a bit disappointing, this one. Yes, I don't think it is a 1.5 out of 5, but it's definitely closer to a 1.5 than a 2.5, that's for sure. So but yeah, disappointing, that one. Yeah, disappointing. And then Cadbury's Mini Eggs Chocolate Bar. Yes, this is back out now. So clearly, I reviewed this just after Christmas last year. So, the Easter chocolate does come out early. I gave this a 4 out of 5 and have had it again recently. And I think that's probably about right, really. If anything, it's probably closer to a 3.5 than a 4.5, that's for sure, I would say. And the problem with it is it's just not as good as having regular mini eggs. I would just rather have regular mini eggs. They're just nicer. They got that more of a crunch. The mini eggs in this chocolate bar are sort of mini eggs. They're not actual proper mini eggs. You don't get that sort of special taste as well on the shell that you do with regular mini eggs. These are Cadbury's mini eggs, by the way. They've got sort of like that odd powderiness to the shell that's quite crunchy. It has a distinct taste and even a distinct smell, really. Just a nice experience having Cadbury's mini eggs, and it's not really replicated in this bar. It's okay, it's still nice, but the chocolate's, it's not really, I don't think it's really even dairy milk. It's a nice chocolate, but it's not dairy milk or anything like that. It's it's just an okay product, but I just would rather have the actual mini eggs. But I'm glad it exists, and I definitely like it. And as I say, I did have it just last week, but as I say, if anything, this one, more close to a 3.5 out of 5. But I think 4 is just about right, But if anything, it's lower really. But as I say, I don't think it is lower. It's just not. It's not like I'm thinking, this could be a 4.5. If only this, if only that. It's just a solid 4 out of 5. Yeah, then I reviewed Reese's half-pound peanut butter cups. I've still got the other one here. This is how big they are. It's just covered in. You can see this slight sort of fat separation there, but you can see it's kind of covered in dust. You can kind of tell. Maybe not really, but it is. It's just been on my it's just been on my desk for basically a year now. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Definitely. It's just basically 1,000 calories, pretty much, that is. But I gave it a 5 out of 5. Just for the sheer craziness of it, and it did replicate a Reese's peanut butter cup, but in giant form very well. It's just the thick chocolate, the thick Reese's peanut butter. It was a real indulgence. It was, and I don't know. It just worked. It was just wacky. It was crazy. You can see. Look at the size of it. It's just ridiculous. And I say 1,000 calories in one of these. crackers, you know, just that's why I've just not ate it, because there's just so much calories in it. It has kept for that long. I mean, I would, you know, if there's anything wrong with it, you know, but there we go. So it's a bit of an ornament that at the moment, basically. Become a famous thing in my house basically now as well. So yeah, yeah, 5 out of 5. I think that's probably about right, really. I mean, it's, you know, if you don't like Reese's peanut butter cups, you're not gonna like this. It's basically a souped up one, but it's done in such a way where it actually works. You know, it's just really over the top, really indulgent, really thick. You know, chocolate. I don't think it's actual chocolate. I think on a Reese's peanut butter. I think if you read the description, it says it's chocolate flavored coating or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, whatever it is, really thick, just really thick peanut butter. Works really well. Just a mad product. 5 out of 5. Yeah, you know, it is basically Reese's peanut butter cup, but just turned up to 11. And who doesn't want that? Yeah, then I did Lotus Biscoff milk chocolate flavoured cream biscuit. So basically the same as the other one, but milk chocolate cream this time rather than just a Biscoff cream. It sort of suffered the same problems as the other one, really. Basically, you just couldn't really taste the chocolate cream. Now this time it wasn't flavoured Biscoff, so, you know, there was something else to try and detect, but it was just overpowered by the Biscoff biscuit. And just again, you know, it's just like, well, I think I'd just rather have the regular Biscoffs, really. So it's a bit of a shame, this one. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5 because it was just slightly better than the other one, because it did have a slightly different flavour. But again, it just didn't really work. That's the gist of it. It's just a bit of a pointless product because you just can't really taste the middle, you know, because of the strong Biscoff flavour, which is basically like the sort of speculoos sort of flavoured biscuits is the gist of it. So yeah, it's a real shame, that one. It just didn't work, unfortunately. It just wasn't horrible or anything, but it just didn't work, you know. So 2.5 out of 5. And also it wasn't great to dunk in a hot cup of coffee or what have you as well, hot tea. Just didn't work either. So, you know, disappointing for that reason as well. Yeah, 2.5 out of 5. Yes, that's what we did 1 year ago. So what I did 5 years ago. Let me just zoom up on the old spreadsheet. Yeah, I only did a few 5 years ago. Didn't do too many of them. As I said, I did continue on the top 50 chocolates of all time. Link for that's in the description, as I say. But yeah, I did a few reviews. First of all, I did Lily O'Brien's Orange Chocolate Ganache. Yeah, and I gave these a 3.5 out of 5. Basically, just the orange just wasn't strong enough. They were a nice product and I enjoyed them, but the orange flavour just wasn't strong enough. So 3.5 out of 5. And I think that's probably, you know, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to lower it to a 3, I think. I think they sounded and looked very nice, actually. There's something about them that was a bit special, really. But as I say, it was just let down by the fact the orange flavour wasn't strong enough. So I think 3.5 is probably about right with those. And also another Lily O'Brien's Creamy Caramels with Sea Salt. Same kind of thing, basically. These sort of like mini chocolate discs, essentially, is what they were. You know, that's what the chocolate ganache one was as well. So these, as I say, these sort of chocolate thick, sort of biscuity type things almost, actually. This one I gave a 4 out of 5, and I just said it was just really nice. I just really enjoyed them, really liked them. So yeah, so I'm gonna, again, you know, from what I was saying, it sounded like they should be higher, but I think, you know, back in the olden times, if anything, my reviews were more generous than they are today. So I think, I don't know, I feel like I could probably trust you with that 4 out of 5. I think, yeah. So, but it did sound like it could have been a 4.5, but. You know, yeah, I just think it was just really nice, but nothing wasn't going to blow your socks off as such. It just worked. It was just really nice, a nice salted caramel flavour, a nice texture and taste. So yeah, as I say, it did sound like it could be higher, you know, but I don't know. I haven't had them since. I've got to. I think with that one, because as I say, if anything, I would have rated it higher rather than lower back in the day, 5 years ago. I feel like you know, I'm gonna keep with that. I'm gonna trust myself. That one, give myself the benefit of the doubt there. But it did sound like it could well be a 4.5 out of 5, so maybe want to re-review at some point. Yeah, and then I did some M&S products as well, actually. Not sure if these are still available. First one was M&S Dark Chocolate Licorice and Black Currant. Yeah, an interesting one. Very much sounds like a phaser bar, this one. Basically, I gave this a 2 out of 5, and the gist of it was the dark chocolate would just overwhelm the flavours. You couldn't taste the other flavours. We could barely taste them. I think at one point, maybe when you first had a bite or something, you could slightly taste the black currant, or maybe the licorice, but I think it was more the black currant, but you just basically couldn't taste it. You know, so it was just a bar that didn't work, basically, which is a real shame. I was really looking forward to actually having experienced all these beautiful Carl Phaser bars and of these sort of, you know, at the time, and still are really quite exotic flavours and a bit different. I was thinking, oh wow, this is going to be amazing. You know, I've entered a whole new world of chocolate that I wasn't aware existed, but no, yeah, it wasn't. It was a real disappointing one, this one. Just too strong with dark chocolate and not strong enough flavours. So 2 out of 5. There's a similar affair with the M&S Dark Chocolate with Raspberry, which is the next bar I reviewed as well. And I gave this a 2.5 out of 5 because it was just slightly, you could slightly taste the raspberry, or at least a sharp flavour. It wasn't necessarily a raspberry, but just some kind of sharp flavour, basically. So you could at least taste something, but it still suffered from the same problem. you know, and again, I think bearing in mind I reviewed them both next to each other and bearing in mind what I said about them, I think 2.5 is probably about right. If anything, it probably might just be the same, another 2 out of 5. But I feel like the ratings I gave these bars, you know, sound about right based on what I said and in relation to each other and this, that, and what, you know, this, yeah, they just sounded like the right scores to me. So I'm not going to change this one either. I think I was rating these pretty spot on actually, and it made sense in relation to each other. Based on what I said and things like this, and it wasn't over the top or, you know, or sort of too low or anything like that. I think these ratings actually sounded about right. Yeah, pretty spot on. So I'm going to trust myself, give myself the benefit of the doubt with those ones. I'll have to review these as well somewhere if they're still around. They sound interesting bars, that's for sure. All 4 of these ones, but yeah, we'll just have to see really. I don't know if they still do them. Well, at least the M&S ones. Might have to go and find out again. Doing M&S special. Right, well, there you go, guys. That's all I reviewed 5 years ago. So, yes, that concludes this episode of Look Back. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Interesting one to look back at what, as I say, what was about and what was going on 5 years ago and even a year ago. Time flies, really, you know, so much going on. Really does, so interesting to look back. Yeah, so all the reviews I did 1 year and 5 years ago, all the links for them are in the description. As are the links for the other videos, such as the playlist of the top 50 chocolates of all time I did 5 years ago. Also the other video about how I maintain my weight, you know, that's in the description as well. And any other videos like the lives and the members videos, all those are linked as well in the description. So go check all those out. Become a member as well if you're you know, on the fence or if you're just slightly tempted. So if you just want to see what it's like, become a member. As I say, bronze level is gets you the exclusive reviews, but it just really, you know, really helps out the channel, whatever level you pick. So please check it out. We're massively appreciated. Discord as well, check that out. Link for that's in the description also. Great way to keep in touch with myself and the community. Great way to help just be part of the channel and the community. As I say, just really, really great thing. It's free, you know. There's no no catch or anything like that. You know. So please check it out. Yeah, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I say, leave a like, leave a comment. Always great to hear from you. It truly is, and I always do my best to reply. Yeah, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.